Hello everybody, Walter here. Welcome to episode 44 of my Oxygen Not Included Let's Play series with the Space and DLC. In the previous episode we finally finished with our sour gas boiler setup with attached petroleum boiler, a skewed hot brick and integrated slickster range. All of that together should now ensure that we no longer will have any power issues on our main asteroid. With that secured, it's time to look on another asteroid and work on some late game content, or more precisely on one of the big 3 achievements. And with that said, let's jump back into the game and have a look. And here we are, right where we left off last time at our new power plant with the petroleum boiler down here, which is still taking a little amount of time until this has filled up a bit more until it properly starts up. But in the intermediate time, as I said, my goal for today is on another asteroid. Namely, I'm talking about Freezalin and more specifically about this somewhat hidden building here. But before I start my rocket, I'll have to make a few minor modifications to it. Namely, I'm going to need some more storage bins. And then let's just check. Okay, obsidian should actually be something in there. A ton of steel is good. Gold amalgam is good. Coal I will also put into those storage bins. And then let's check. Okay, those are also enough atmosuits. So I'm just going to wait until those here are in place and filled with coal. And then I can send this off. But in the intermediate time, I might as well start with some cleanup at the bottom of the base. Namely, I would really like to get rid of this petroleum boiler here. For one, it's no longer needed since I have another one. And for the other, I'm not a fan of having broken stuff lying around in the base. So I think I'm just going to get my dupes in here and then start with mopping up the petroleum, then tearing out the internals, also getting rid of the petroleum over here. And all of that preferably without releasing the heat from the magma here into my base. And we're basically done stripping out the petroleum boiler here. As you can see, it's just a little bit over here. I'm going to just delete the steam in here piece by piece. And once I'm done with that, I can really strip out the rest here. For some reason, I have a little bit of oxygen in here. I suspect it was in this chamber over there, which is a bit annoying, but as you can see, I can put in the insulated tiles here without actually breaking the vacuum in this mini chamber here where the door was before. So once that is in place, I shouldn't have any more issues here. But with that said, the Conqueror is now ready to go. So let's actually send off our 2 dupes. So the Conqueror has some solar panels. It has a lot of oxygen, power supply, and the crew should be my 2 builders. Yeah, that is also exactly as intended. And now all I need is a destination, which is Freezalin over there. And then I can launch. Now I just need to wait until my tubes come by, which shouldn't take too much longer since the transit tube is right over here. Just going to speed up the game a little bit until my tubes are in. So the first one is already there, and here is my second tube. And that's a go. Okay, my tubes are on their way. And we'll take about, what is that? 1.5 cycles or so. Okay. Now, while my tubes are on the way, let's continue cleaning up the petroleum boiler here at the bottom. And my dupes are just about to land on Freezalin. In the intermediate time, nothing much has happened over here, except I had a little bit of an accident and some of the steam escaped into this chamber here. But with already oxygen in there, that is not really much of an issue. Nevertheless, the important part, the installation over here, is done, and I can clear this out pretty soon. Furthermore, as you can see, the petroleum boiler here automatically started up, and since there is no crude oil in there visible, except occasionally in this corner there, that worked out just as I imagined it would. Now, my Conqueror is, as I said, about to land, and just the right moment here to get started. So, my tubes have landed, and of course one of the ladders already melted since they are currently out of granite and not out of obsidian, which shouldn't take too much longer to rectify. So let's just wait until a tube comes and replaces them with the correct material. Shouldn't take too much longer. Okay, now I should be able to reach everything in here. Now, as I said, my target is this building down here and also something else on this asteroid. But the first step is actually getting down here. So I am going to need a couple ladders and yeah, let's just go straight down here. And that works out quite nicely because now I can start clearing out all of this here. And then I'm also going to clear out this garbage up there first at the top there, and then I'm just going to go straight down. And there is the second thing I was searching for, the crashed satellite, because this one here is going to need radiation. And oh, come on, Ruby, what are you doing? So let's see, I need to go one more further down, and now everything should be reachable again, at least once the ladders are in place. Okay. I might as well start triple mining this a bit later, but for now I need to get down here. And I also need to get access to the crashed satellite, as I was saying, because this one here is quite toasty when it comes to the radiation it produces. And as I said, I'm going to need a decent amount of rat bolts. So, first I need to get down, as I said, and then... Ah, come on, Ruby. Now you should be able to reach everything again. Okay. And then I will have to work on a bit more infrastructure here. And to make my life a bit easier, I already got rid of all of the materials at the top here and added a radiation shielded room down here. But now I think it's time to actually have a look at this building here. So I need to submit a bioskin, and I can as well inspect and rummage through the vending machine. Now, while we are waiting on that, you might have noticed there is another wrecked satellite down here. I'm likely going to get rid of that one since all of the satellites have the same radiation profile. And the smaller they are, the closer I can actually get to the center of that radiation. So the bigger ones are not really that good as the smaller ones. So, but first let's actually get our hands on, or eyes on the Temporal Tear Opener here. And the first thing we need is actually one more printing pot, which we can just place in here. And then we're going to need some radiation, which I am going to grab from that down there. So I need an opening here in the floor, and then I can send the radiation straight up. So I also need to activate the mini pot, and I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. And now Ruby is activating the mini pot. Mini pot is running, and the tear opener is waiting for rat balls, which we're going now to produce. So first of all, I need to get down here, and I'm actually going to the very bottom here since there is some kind of ruin down here and I want to see what this is all about. But I'm also going to obviously have a look at those satellites here, and oh, there's another one down here that is also pretty good. Anything else? This is an iron volcano. I'm not going to tame that in this playthrough. We also have some iron. So yeah, there is definitely a lot of digging to be done here before we can actually make use of this asteroid here properly. And we're just about ready to start building. As you can see, I've dug down to the very bottom. Down here there is nothing really interesting except for those 3 iron volcanoes and a 4th one up there. But as I already said, I'm not going to make actually use of them. Nevertheless, I also got rid of one of those satellites here since it's not needed, and I really need to put some radiation insulation in here since my dupes are still in danger in the surroundings here. So the next step is likely just going to put a little capsule around this satellite, just open on the right, since I still need to put in some ratbolt generators. Just like in this here. In case you're curious where I got the plastic for the ratbolt joint plate, well, I had to improvise a little bit. But now this installation here is done, and my tubes just got a little bit sick in the intermediate time, which also caused a little bit of an overpressure issue in here, but I hope there is nothing else anymore. Okay, that is now working as intended. Okay, no. Next step is connecting this here to the input of this setup here. So I need to get that over there. And now I need power for those Radbold generators. And the way I'm going to do this is pretty straightforward. I am going to place a couple coal generators. 3 should be enough. And I'm actually going to... Let's see, can I place it like this and reach everything with one? No, I can't, unfortunately. I can at least fit 2 in there. Okay, so then let's grab the storage bins and place them here in the middle. Then I will need conductive wire. And you'll see I'm not going to use the steel, but the iron I unearthed earlier. Then all I need to do is connect over here. I'm also going to need a smart battery right there, and then a little bit of automation wire to connect everything up there. And with all of this in place, I should be able to actually have this automatically provide power for the Radbold generation. And this here should at some point be able then to, well, open up the tier on the star map, which is, if I remember correctly, down here at the bottom. And once that is open, we are one step closer to finishing with all of the achievements. And the power supply is up and running, and we are also getting the first few Radbolts, 150, 170 and 185 here, respectively. And yeah, we are already at 2% charging progress, so the amount of coal I have over here should definitely be enough to actually reach the 100% or 10,000 Radbolts in total. And we are already at 3%. So, with that said, let's quickly check. Did I forget anything over here? I collected the iron, I collected the artifact and the data banks. Yeah, I think we are ready to send my dudes back to the main base. So, let's get that launched. And the next big target is going to be Oozito here. But before that, we need to refuel and get some more materials into the rocket. But that is something we can only do once the rocket is back home. Over here, the petroleum boiler, or the old petroleum boiler I should say, has been removed. And there's just a little bit of debris left over there. And the last part over here is just getting this here removed and maybe even cooled down a bit. If you don't remember, this is the rest of the magma biome, or the bottom of the former magma biome, that needed to be cooled down a bit more. But we're basically already done over here. And we just unlocked one of the missing achievements, so let's have a look. I already have a suspicion which one this is. Yep. Finely tuned machine. Perform 100 tune-ups on power generators. Usually this achievement comes a bit earlier, but I didn't really prioritize the tune-up, so it took a decent amount of time until I got it. Now with that said, I am more or less done with cleaning this up. Just need to sweep the rest in here, then put in the tiling floor, and then I can get rid of all of this here, except obviously for the magma containment. And then the checkpoint is also no longer needed. Although I might keep it in here in case I want to do something with the magma. But with that said, let's have a look at our Conqueror. So I made 2 little changes, or a couple changes here. For one, I have a row of temp shift plates out of diamond here. Those are just temporary, so I have some diamond on hand. I also have a little bit of petroleum in here. Additionally, 20 tons of copper and a ton of plastic. And that's pretty much all I am going to need for my next planned excursion. So I think it's time to actually send that off. Which means I am going to first select a new target, which is Oozito up here. And then going to launch. And those are still being cleaned out. And yeah, I really need to figure out a better solution for my rocket sailors in the future. But this is more or less finished. And yeah, now let's just wait until my dupes are on their way. Well, let's speed this up a little bit. So first and now the second. And they are on their way. Very nice to see that. Now let's quickly check how long this is going to take. Yeah, 1.5 cycles about. So basically the same distance to all of the inner asteroids here. So with that said, we are basically done over here. And while my dupes are on their way, I might as well finish up on this edge here. So after a few moments I reconsidered and I think it makes more sense to upgrade my rocket silos a bit. So what I'm currently doing is removing the water and the petroleum from those cooling loops here, at least on the left and on the right side. The middle isn't really overburdened in any case. And once I have those cleared out, I'm going to replace that with supercoolant, which hopefully should be able to keep up with all of the rocket starts and landings. But in the intermediate time, my rocket actually landed on Oozito and already replaced those letters here which melted during the last takeoff. But that said, I really need to get down here and get my hands on this artifact, which I'm then going to move into the rocket. Right here. Highest priority. Then the same with this one over there. So, just going to set those orders in place. And I think I actually need to get in from the other side too, or otherwise I wouldn't be able to actually get through this door here. That means I will also have to do a little bit of digging here. And once I can access this one here, I won't actually be able to work with what is in there before I do something else, and that is getting my hands on the natural gas geyser and the hydrogen vent for Oozito. The tungsten volcano doesn't really matter much at the moment, but, and there is already one over here, but I need power on this asteroid here, and this is the best way to get it. So this is the natural gas geyser, and somewhere further down I suspect we should have our hydrogen vent. And before I have tamed those two geysers, it doesn't make much sense to actually work on taming the part in here. But having said that, let's just speed this up a little bit. And let's put in a scanning order. And someone should come by and actually do this. Oh, come on. Okay, my second dupe is opening the door. And here we have it. Experiment 5-2B, which is the only really good way, or the only way to get ISO resin, which is needed for some more advanced materials. So, anyway, this is, as I said, going to take a little while until I have this actually running properly. And before I actually work on that, as I said, I need to get my hands on maybe even this one here. Let's have a check. That's the hydrogen vent. Okay, don't need to search for that anymore. I have now the hydrogen vent and in the natural gas geyser. So I think I know what I'm going to do next. And that is a decent amount of digging until I have this one here excavated and this one here excavated. And in preparation for my future plans for this, I decided to actually dig out basically the entire asteroid here, except for the magma layer at the bottom, which actually contains 2 tungsten volcanoes, which is interesting. But the reason I stopped here is I finally noticed a bit of an issue. We have a problem on Drippolin. If we go over here, you can see there is something amiss. Yeah, we have the research reactor, which is out of fuel. So it stopped producing heat. This here cooled down. I am no longer cycling through the water, and as a result, all of the water in those pipes here started to heat up and, well, boiled off and destroyed the pipes. But worse, pretty much all of my base, at least on this side here, is without power. And I will have to fix that ASAP. So, first things first, I need to have a look at the power. So these here are without power and these here are without power, and that is really an issue. So for now I'm just going to hook it up to my normal power grid, which is still being powered via the hydrogen generator and the coal generators, which is fortunately enough, since otherwise my tubes would have died in the intermediate time. On the other hand, I might have noticed it a bit earlier, so ups and downs. Anyway, once my tubes can get in here again, I'm going to have to repair these pipes, and once those are repaired, and I could actually move some ceramic over, but you know what, it's not really that much of an issue. The more important part is the repairs, which should be done ASAP. And then I need to get my hands on some more enriched uranium, which I'm going to get through auto harvesting these. And let's have a look, how much do we have over there? Almost 3 tons, and over here 800 kilos and 6 tons. So basically I need to do a little bit more digging. So how do I go about this? Let's just dig that out. Then I should be able to get over here, get all the way to over there, and then make my way up to, let's say, this spot here. Yeah, that should allow me to actually reach this one here. And then from here on, I'm going to dig, let's see, straight over, then up, and then I should be able to actually get through here and get access to this one. And is there any other one? No, no one over there, and no one over there except the ones I already know about. Okay, so these need to be repaired. Power I have already. This is all now powered again. And now I also need to get some water in here, since otherwise running the reactor will end with a lot of tears in the intermediate time. So I need to connect these. And where is... Ah, of course I closed this off since I didn't want to get in here anymore. So I need to open this up. The vacuum... Do I need... No, I don't need the vacuum anymore. So let's... I shouldn't make much of an issue. There is liquid lock anyway. So my tubes should now be able to actually reach this. Okay, so time to get this repaired and set up properly again. And here's Pi with the last few bits of enriched uranium. So we should now have enough. So let's see. Okay, 12.7 tons is going to take a decent amount of time to get rid of. So we can turn on the reactor. And I also should turn on the water, just to be on the safe side, obviously. So let's activate that. And yeah, also need to disconnect over here so the water actually flows only to the reactor for now. Now let's just speed this up, and I should actually increase the priority a bit so it actually comes by. And what is Ren currently doing? Well, let's quickly check. Okay, Ren is over here collecting sulfur, but that shouldn't take too much longer, and he should be on his way pretty soon. So brought over the sulfur, and now he's on his way. Okay, then I can decrease the priority again, because once I have power, this autosweeper here will do this for my tubes. And the temperature here is at 108, 109, 110. Okay, it's increasing quite rapidly, which is very good, and soon we should be at temperatures where those steam turbines here start up again. And let's just wait until the first turbine here starts up before I turn off the water flow, because once a couple of these here are running, I don't need that anymore. So let's just... Yeah, okay, the temperature should be in high enough pretty soon. Yeah, okay, steam turbine is starting up, so I can turn this off again. Just going to wait for the rest of the water here to make its way in there. But you can see we are already getting a more or less constant stream, even with some overflow. So we should be safe for now. And now it's basically just waiting until enough of those here start up to power the rest of this setup here. Which shouldn't take too much longer, I would hope. Let's actually see. Okay, 93 degrees. Yeah. It was good that I didn't wait longer with restarting this, since otherwise I would have gotten some issues with cooling this down again. Let's see. 90 degrees and occasionally being cooled further. Like, for example, right now. Yeah, okay, definitely cooling down again. And 3 of the steam turbines are constantly on again. So we should be safe, I hope. And all of the water has been used up, or almost all of the water at least. Just going to wait for a little bit until... Okay, we have enough steam turbines running, so we are not losing any water in this pipe here anymore. Ah, the pipe is empty. I was looking at the wrong entry. Okay, I can get rid of that one. And don't really need to worry about this for now, I would say. This can heat up without any major issues. Now, next over there again, no? Let's have a quick look at over on Beno. Yeah, we're basically done with the cleanup over here. Just a little bit of obsidian left over, but nothing overly special. So I started to open this up again. Can actually add another ladder there. And yeah, for now it's just getting rid of the last few bits and putting in the next few tiles. And with that said, let's actually have a look over on Freezalin, because the Temporal Tear Opener is now fully charged. So let's check. Yeah, that looks like a fully charged Tear Opener, which means we don't need any more rat balls. So I'm just going to turn off the power for now. And now it's time to fire this baby here. So let's see. Come on. So, Temporal Tear Opener. Are you sure you want to fire this? Yes, I'm ready for a meteor shower. No, I need more time to prepare. Let's have a look. I have definitely a shield over here that is secure. The only thing in the opening is the rocket platform, and I don't really need to get down here again. So, even if anything here gets destroyed, it's not really much of an issue. So, I think we are ready to launch this here. Is there actually anything visible on the... Oh, there's nothing visible on the space map, except the Temporal Tear is now actually open. But besides of that, nothing really changed. And, oh, we have... What type of meteor shower is this actually? Fullerenes, okay. Interesting. And one actually hit and went through all of this here. Yeah, that is actually a decent amount of damage. They do hit really hard, actually. But I think this is... Yep, that's already the end of this meteor shower. A little bit of damage, but nothing really destroyed. So, yeah, I would say this was a total success. And we are basically done over here. Now, next up again, Oozito. As you can see, the digging is basically finished. All that's left is taming those 2 geysers here, and then later on work on the experiment 52B. But looking at the clock, I would say that is something for the next episode. And that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and comment if you did, so it really helps with the algorithm. Independent of that, I wish you a nice day. And well, see ya.